Hey y'all, welcome back to Fundamental Friday. A couple days ago, a young man asked me which I prefer, enamel or lacquer. Which is easiest? Okay, I like them both. They both have distinct properties. Okay, let's start with the enamel. And I'm going to stay with the airbrushing. Okay? Because mainly that's what I do. First off, if you take enamels, cut them at the ratio that I use with cheap lacquer thinner. It goes on smooth. It dries quicker, tighter, with less loss of detail. Applied in light mist coats. Okay, so that takes the lacquer, enamels take forever to dry and pitches that old wives' tale right out the door. Okay, so let's flip it over to the lacquer. Okay, lacquer dries quick, dries tight, very little if any loss of detail. However, let's go with the cons with the lacquer for the moment. You have to be anally retentive with your prep work when it comes to lacquer. If I were to take Tamiya white, decant it, shoot it through the airbrush over a body that's been prepped and primered, okay, you're still, even up to 12,000, you're still going to see fine scratches in it. If you make a boo-boo on your body work, it's going to stick out like the proverbial sore thumb. Okay? Now, both of them can be wet sanded, smoothed, and polished. Enamel is going to have more of a jump when it comes to the glossiness. Lacquer it'll be a smooth finish, but you will not have that that big shine coming off of it regardless of the colors. Okay, case in point. Okay, this was shot with Testors old engine Olds blue. Okay, then wet sanded, shot over with Testors enamel clear top coat using my ratio of paint / and or clear to thinner ratio. Okay, now this has not been touched. It still needs to be wet sanded and polished. Okay, you got one hell of a shine going on there. Now once this is wet sanded and polished, that will remain. It will have that jump, that nice bright gloss. Now, this was shot with Tamiya white for the stripes. Reason being is because Testors white cleared over will eventually yellow, as will some of their lighter colors and their metallics. It's just the nature of the beast. There's ways of getting around that. So, case in point, what I did here, I shot the white first, the entire body, taped it off, shot, this is Testors Arctic Blue enamel, okay? Then what I did is I took Testors Wet Look Lacquer, I decanted it, shot it through the airbrush in light mist coats. Yes, I did. It's their hobby paint. You can mix those two. Otherwise, I wouldn't be playing with other brands. I know this works. It's not hot. Okay? If I were to do this with Duplicolor or some of the others, it melted that enamel in half a heartbeat. So I went over top of it. Now this is going to have to be wet sanded, all right, because this was just the initial clear coats. Then what I'm going to do, I'll wet sand it again, and I'll reshoot it with the clear. I'll wet sand it again, polish it out, and I will have a very nice shine to it, but it will not have the brilliance that the enamel has. Also, one of the pluses of the tester's enamel, if you remember, I mentioned the fact of being, and you should be no matter what, proactive with your body work, your wet sanding, and taking it all the way up to 12,000. If you miss like a little scratch or something else like that, the enamel is thicker, and even when it's cut with lacquer thinner, it still is a little bit, it actually has an inherent healing process to it. So if I have a tiny little scratch and I'm going over with light mist coats, eventually it's going to fill it in and you're not going to be able to see it. You won't get away with that with the lacquer. Lacquer out of a can dries like this. Enamel out of a can, nope, you're going to be waiting unless you use a dehydrator. Now, this was polished out. It's a little dirty. Oh, by the way, another little thing to get. Michaels. Very soft brush. Won't leave scratches, removes any and all, and doesn't hurt your detail. But this is all done with a custom mix of testers, enamels, and Pearl X powders. And these are the finishes that you get from this. So I hope this helped a little bit and I hope I answered the young man's question too. Like I said, I prefer the enamels, but either or is viable. Choice is going to be yours. Just remember, when you do it with the lacquer, you're going to have to, your body work is going to have to be spot on. And that's something that we've covered before. So, until the next time, it's the old man from Lone Wolf Custom Painting, along with Jake, the camera guy, and the blonde, she's wandering around here somewhere. She's the chief business executive. So, y'all have a great week. God bless. Enjoy your weekend. See you next week.